Hello everyone and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Optical media. It's something that's been with us for many, many years. All the different variations of optical media, from DVD, home movies, and CDRs for, driving down the street in your car or your optical drive and saying, hey, I'm going to throw a mixed CD in there. Digital vinyl to make them even look even cooler like the old LPs, things like that. And it's been a variation, a whole bunch of different type of media not even shown here that we've had over the years. And the most common thing that you did with these particular CDs is once you've done using them, you have to write on them. You have to label them in some form. And that's something that you would do. You would just take a CDR or DVD media or whatever you had, and you would write it on with a Sharpie. And they actually, little gimmicks in the stores, you'd have CD label Sharpies as opposed to a regular Sharpie, which just would basically just a fine point marker, permanent marker. And you would write on all the different variations of music on your CD. You put them in a little sleeve. You had them in your car for mixed CDs, or if you had software that you were backing up, you'd do the same thing. You'd have it all labeled and you're good to go if you want to do that. Now, over the years, there were various gimmicks that allowed you to, well, basically do your own custom labeling. For example, the CD Stomper. And this system allowed you to print off the CD label itself using custom templates, as well as the jewel case design that you wanted. And it was really neat to be able to do that back in the day. And then you can see this little CD Stomper. You put the CD in, you have the label laid down in there, and you, well, stomp the CD, and the label would stick to the surface. It was basically just a guided template that allowed you to put it on the CDR, and instead of it looking like this with some marker on it, you allowed you to have this cool design. And these particular labels had their problems in the sense that sometimes the label would peel off inside the drive, whether you slid them in and out of, sleeves for your car, if you had like mixed CDs and things like that, or you shared your DVD or something, and then they would, just from wear and tear, these would come off. I know it says CD safe on here. There's a big sticker that says it's all good to go, but they did happen. They did peel off and they did damage some drives. And as technology does, it changes. So when we identified this particular problem, Hewlett-Packard came out with a technology called LightScribe, allowing you to burn directly into the label on the media itself. Well, there's caveats to that, and in today's video, we're going to talk all about it. So you know what? We have lots to do. Let's get right to it. And welcome back. So we're going to talk about the media and the technology prior to actually showing it first. So LightScribe came out of a desire for, obviously, making CD labels, right? We were talking earlier where I said we were using Sharpies or CD Stomper systems to put those labels on that would eventually fall off in the drive or damage the media they were on, etc. And, it's one of those things that, again, I feel like I missed over the years for whatever reason. It did come out in January 2004 and lasted right through to, I believe it was March 2013, from what I understand. It's one of those technologies that were around because mostly I just bought these types of CDRs, just the regular CDRs, and called it a day, because you did need special media specifically for the LightScribe system. Now, LightScribe did have a competitor directly. It was called Label Flash. We're not going to get into that today. And there was another system out there called Disk Tac 2, I believe it was. So Disk T and the @ symbol and the number 2. Again, the unfortunate thing about that particular system is that it can only use whatever was not written on the CDR to be able to use that as labels. So if you had data as you know it right from the inside out, so if you had half the data that was on the media itself, the other half would be used for the label or available for the label. So you'd see that through, but that would be it. And that was obviously a limitation of that labeling system. So LightScribe avoided that. LightScribe allowed you to print, obviously, be able to do the whole label. So you'd write your whole CDR or DVDR or whatever system you had. You'd write all your data, all that's great. And then you go into the software and you'd be able to literally turn the disk around in the drive, label side facing the laser and be able to directly write an image using the laser on the CD drive or the optical drive to be able to burn the image directly to the surface of the media itself. And I think that's so pretty darn cool. But again, you require the special media, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. Now, Hewlett-Packard, Samsung, Lacey, Light On, and LG made drives specifically for the LightScribe technology. All of these drives are still available today in terms of the retro community. So if you see an older system or you see some of these new old stock drives that still exist, that you can actually still buy the drives. Now the media is much harder to find. I lucked out and was able to find this media specifically because it was a CDR lot that I was buying for, I thought it was 20 bucks or something like that. I think I showed this on one of my thrift finds videos, but it was specifically labeled LightScribe. You can see it right here because the label itself is a special technology that actually reacts to the laser. So it's actually able to etch or burn into that label so that you can actually use it properly. And there's a whole bunch of different technology that's in the media itself. But you can go to Amazon, you can go to eBay, you can do different things, but the prices of these are ridiculous for what they are. I mean, people are just sitting on them forever until they actually get sold because, well, need, right? And, it's one of those technologies, like I said, I wish I had gotten back into it back in the day because the thought of it is just really, really, really cool. So all we have today is the CDR variant of this. I'm not going to actually write any data to the disk. I'm just going to show the technology off in terms of writing. Now, I believe the website was working right up until about 2018, the LightScribe website, and it's unfortunate that, I have to go back on archive.org and see when it was, but essentially that website allowed you to download templates, allowed you to get different things for this system that, quite frankly, just aren't available anymore. So it's one of those things I have to dig deeper in if I want to get, say, different templates and things like that for different designs on the label itself. Okay, let's look at the media. So as you know, as a regular CDR, you have that pre-printed, this particular one's verbatim. It says CDR, 700 megabytes, 52 speed drive, 80 minutes of audio, and you're good to go. These are obviously still readily made today, which is wonderful that the manufacturers are still keeping these going. I would love to see some technology or some vendor come back out and recreate the LightScribe technology, because again, I think it's cool. LightScribe is still supported today only by the enthusiasts, the retro enthusiasts, and that would be about it. Okay, so looking at the media itself, I'm just going to pull one of these discs out so I can show everybody, and you can see the discs are facing down versus up, and then you kind of have this black protective disc that goes over this, and that's for a couple reasons. Light can actually degrade the label side of these discs on LightScribe technology. So you can see the disc is very different from that of a CDR, as we talked about earlier. You can see that coating that's on there, but absolutely zero labeling on it today. And that's your blank canvas that you're going to be able to go through versus, say, something like this. And the other thing you'll notice on this is that there's actually barcode technology directly imprinted right on the ring, the inside ring of the disc, and allows the optical drive to know exactly the position of the rotation of the disc in the drive, to be able to know exactly where to label the image or the template that you've created onto the CDR itself. And of course, it is labeled LightScribe. It does have the LightScribe logo there, as well as this is Memorex, just showing you what it is. This is a 52 speed disc. So that's pretty neat. But again, certain types of light can affect the unwritten surface to actually degrade this, so you're not actually able to use the optical drive to burn. It just won't work. It won't work right or won't look right. So that's why they're upside down in this particular order with that protective cover, so that you're able to protect the media from degrading through time. So a couple of drawbacks of the media and the technology was one I already mentioned, which is they were much more delicate in terms of the media versus these guys. These guys were a little more robust. It's still optical media. You still got to be careful with it, scratching the surface and things like that. But outside of that, they still held up over all these years. These were a little more delicate in terms of the label side and not wanting to obviously scratch them and things like that prior to printing the label itself. Now, the other drawback was the time it took. Back in the day when you're thinking about all the technology, I think you saw my Maxell CDRs there earlier that had 8X, for 8X drives, because they're a much earlier version of optical media. And then you have these newer ones that are 52 speed. Yes, you can burn a CD pretty quickly these days, but when you flip it over in the drive to write the label onto the optical media itself, it took quite a while. Some people said it could take up to an hour, depending on what media you had on there and what quality you had, just like a printer, right? You can choose draft all the way through to best, and that allowed the different contrast to show. Today, we're going to do the best quality just because I want to see what it can do. But outside of that, that was the media and a couple of the drawbacks of technology. So it never got a lot of user adoption. And I think that's such a shame because I've seen some of the finished work online of the LightScribe technology. I think it's so neat. And I don't know why I never did it back in the day, outside of just maybe convenience. Plus, I understand even back in the day that these discs were far more expensive than their CDR or regular counterparts. Let's get the bench all kind of turned around and set up with a Hewlett-Packard desktop system that actually has the LightScribe technology built in. And here we are back with our Hewlett-Packard Pavilion Slimline PC. If you haven't seen that before, please check it out. I did do a video on it already. Minor upgrade. I'm not going to go over the whole system because I did do it in that video, but it is running a fresh copy of Windows Vista, which I have upgraded to Service Pack 2. And it is one of those systems that as we were upgrading in that video, I had noticed that it came with the LightScribe technology. So if you look at the actual drive itself, I'm just going to open it up. You do see that it does have the LightScribe logo specifically on the optical drive. And that was key in order to understand that this drive is LightScribe capable. Obviously, without the LightScribe drive, it won't be able to write to the labels or special technology that's required for the media. So that's key. On top of that, in order for that to function correctly, you'd had to have the software to be able to utilize that technology. So I'm going to get zoomed in here a little better so you can see what's going on. Under the start menu itself, you're going to go into where it says LightScribe Direct Disk Labeling. So this is software that came out of the box with Hewlett-Packard's image that was part of the restoration and what it came with their software. Now, there was other software online available at the time you could also download, or if you needed the software for another LightScribe drive, you can download it from the manufacturer's website or lightscribe.com. But unfortunately, that's all down now. I believe through archive.org, you can still see what it would look like back in the day. But again, this is a software that is currently installed on this system. So along the top, we do have Getting Started. I'm going to click on that first because it preloads a website that is, well, like I said, preloaded in the system itself. So it says, LightScribe Overview. LightScribe is a disk labeling technology that lets you laser etch a label directly on your disk. Creating professional looking disks is easy. Burn your disk, flip the disk over, and then burn your label onto the disk. The same drive that burns your data, burns your label. I think this is such cool technology. And again, I think it was underrated at the time. A LightScribe enabled DVD drive uses a laser to burn an image into the coating on the label side of the LightScribe disk. LightScribe labeling system has no ink to smear, no paper to curl, and no sticky adhesive to cause problems. So that was the problem with the actual CD stomper technology, right? You took this, put it in your drive, it would spin so fast and do its thing. Eventually that label came off, and it talks about it here. So to create a LightScribe label, you will need a LightScribe enabled CD DVD writer. So it comes with the logo we talked about. LightScribe supported disk labeling software, which we're going to talk about. It's installed on this system. It says it's often included with your LightScribe enabled computer or DVD writer. And then specially coded LightScribe CDs or DVDs sold separately at major retail stores or online. And then it directs you to the website. Unfortunately, the website is down. So creating a LightScribe label, burning a label with LightScribe is easy, and it really is. It's literally as easy as burning a CD. So here we are. It says to start, you need to run LightScribe supported label software. So this particular system does come with two versions of the software, which I'm going to show both. It says here to burn a label, you must flip the disk over and place it label side down in the drive tray. LightScribe labels are monochrome, grayscale only. Labels can be a simple title, or you get more creative by adding backgrounds and images. The capabilities will depend on your labeling application. The following step-by-step instructions will help you create your first simple LightScribe label using various LightScribe supported labeling software. Refer to the documentation, etc., etc. Okay, so using LightScribe template labeler to create a label. So the LightScribe template labeler is the software that's installed on this computer. Now there's two versions I had mentioned. There's LightScribe labeling software, and thethere's also CyberLink label print. So another version of basically CD writing, DVD writing software that's installed in this computer. And this page tells you both options to be able to choose and how to do it. So we have LightScribe direct disk labeling getting started. We have LightScribe control panel. Let's click on that real quickly. So it allows us to go into the software and make changes if needed. So it says current contrast setting is enhanced. This will make your labels darker, but you will experience a longer label time. So just better quality versus this will reset your LightScribe contrast to default factory settings if you choose this one. Notification options, display notification messages, and run this program when I log into Windows. System information shows our system software version 1.14251, and it shows what our CD DVD writer is. There's only one there, and it says the drive is available. So it understands that this is a LightScribe drive. Under services, so we get more details on LightScribe Media, get labels and design, so a bunch of sales stuff here. You click on, brings you to websites and allows you to go purchase additional stuff if you need it for your drive. We also have a template labeler, which we're going to use here in a moment. And under the last one, we have quick demo, just brings you to the website, brings you to a link called Go Videos Quick Demo. I just assume it would show you via video how to do everything that article that we read here earlier would do. Okay, enough of that. Let's go right into our software. So we're going to go into the LightScribe template labeler, and you can see here it is. Please insert a LightScribe disk into your drive, label side down. So that's key, right? You're so used to putting it in this way. Well, it wants you to put it in this way. And because of the orientation of the drive, it goes in just like this. So we're just going to pop it in and make sure it's in there. It holds it in place. And we're just going to close the drive. And that's it. And the reason I had to do it that way is because for some reason this door catches on that drive and it won't close properly. And we'll hit OK. And here we are. So we have our template in front of us. We can choose one of the templates that we have, or we can do a blank design. Now, the unfortunate thing about this software, because I don't know if this is an earlier version of this software, when I go into, say, a blank option here, okay, I can go in here and click on add an image and choose the image. So I go to open, and I'm going to do the retro recall for the background here. I think that's so cool for having a CD. And then text, we're going to have Hewlett Packard, right? And this is a slimline. And then down here, I'm going to add more text, and we're going to have an S. I believe it's a 3700F system. And then you can actually hit enter and then type more text if you want along the label side. I think that's really cool. Now, this just happens to be this particular template. The unfortunate thing is, when you click on more templates to go download more templates, because they were free, they're gone. So if you know anything about this technology or this, where these might be, or we can get them, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love that. So we're limited by these templates that allows you. Now, the other thing that I noticed while I was playing with this earlier is I don't know how to go in and add another image. So for whatever reason, you know, if I want to go in and add a Windows logo, for example. So if you click on open here, if you notice, I downloaded some little images I wanted to kind of throw on the optical media if I wanted to. Now, I had some challenges with this. So I click on Windows logo, for example, and I can zoom it down if I want the Windows logo in there. But unfortunately, I can't move it around a lot. I can change the orientation. As you can see here, I'm going left, right, and all around. You know, that's basically it. It's not like, it doesn't give you a lot of power as an end user to be able to adjust that label and change it around if I wanted to drag and drop it. It's very specific at what it lets you do. This is as custom as I can get with this software. So then I went, okay, well, it must be the limitation of the actual software, right? I'm not able to go and do that. So the other software that comes with this system is the CyberLink stuff. So let's click back on there. I'm going to go under LightScribe Direct Disk Labeling, and then we have CyberLink Label Print. So click on that, and then so you can see here we have obviously another suite of software allows you to do this, including LightScribe. So I'm going to click on LightScribe and hit next, edit disk information. So I can go in here and put all the titles, the tracks, the authors, the times, anything I would want potentially displayed on the label itself for the jewel case, or if I wanted to import this onto the media itself. I'm going to skip that for now, hit next. So here's where I'm going to be able to select my background image. So go down to select, and you can see that this particular layout is very generic. I can go into the layout style and click on select, and you can choose various pre-laid out templates like we saw earlier, where you can have your list of songs, which would import from your previous information that you entered, like your tracks and your names, your artists and things like that, the title of your CD, and that would be it. But again, there's a whole bunch of different layouts that allows you to go in and choose from. Now, I am choosing the blank one because, again, for what I'm doing, I just want a temporary layout, just something I can customize. This does give you more customization options. So when I click on background image, I'm able to go down to browse. I mean, it does give you a bunch of templates here you can click on. I just want to show them to you here as well. See all the different images it gives you. So if you want, someone playing soccer or a snowman or, something like that, it will put it on the disk for you. And then you can put your other things. Like if I want a text to be inserted, like do I want curved text? Do I want straight text? It allows you to do, or linear text. It allows you to put that all on there. Well, I don't want any of that. I want my own custom stuff. So I'm going to click on select under browse, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to have to go start because it does not recognize PNG. I removed the backgrounds for them. Now, did I have to? Probably not, given the software now that I understand how it works. Okay, so I've done the background image. That's the retro recall. That's what I want on there. And I'm going to add another image. So if I click on the HP logo, this does work. So I'm able to drag and drop that on the CD. So I'm just going to put Hewlett Packard there because it's the Hewlett Packard system. We have our AMD logo. Click on that. And down in this corner, we're going to add a little bit of text. I'm going to put linear text is all we need. So we're going to put in HP. And make sure my caps lock is on. Pavilion, Slimline, PC. And we're going to put in where it says the model information. So I believe it's an S3700F. And that's the model of this computer. So there we are. We have that all completed. I'm happy with the layout and using the custom style. So this software, the CyberLink label print, gives you a lot more flexibility versus the built-in software that came with the operating system. I'm going to click on this little button down here and it just says burn. There's nothing else I can do. If I wanted to go back and edit this, I could. I can go into my configuration and it just shows you where it's going to include an outline of the printed label, hide item number. No, we're fine there. LightScribe. Here's our disk, just shows us what it is. Basically the same stuff as the control panel we saw earlier. And I think that is good to go. All right, now this has never been used. I don't know if this drive has been used for this before, but I've never used it with this. And I've never used this media before either. So we're in fresh, uncharted territories with what I'm using here, considering the age of the hardware and the age of the media. But we're going to see if this works. So I'm going to click on burn and see what happens. Okay, print contrast, best is recommended, perfect. Select your drive, awesome. And it says preview if you want, so I'll click on preview. So there we go, that's what it's gonna look like when it's printed. I'm okay with that, let's hope it does. And click on next. And it says preparing time, or preparing image, and time remaining is 24 minutes and 59 seconds. So this is where people who would complain and say, you know what, it's going to take 25 minutes. I've already created the disk already, like you burn your data to it and then you flip it around and you burn your image to it. Well, that was what they considered a downfall. To me, it's not a big deal. You know what, I'm going to go upstairs right now. I'm going to go do something while it's doing this. And for you guys, I'm going to do a jump cut to the finished product. Let's go. Okay, so it says it has completed. It just says next here. This popped out. I'm not even look at it yet. Okay, next. The disk has been printed. Thank you for using LightScribe technology powered by CyberLink Label Print. Okay, and here we are, everybody. I'm going to take a look and see what. Oh, look at that! That is awesome. Look, there we are. We have the Hewlett Packard Pavilion Slimline PC S3700F. Everything we said there. The retro recall logo. Hewlett Packard, the AMD processor, CPU badge. Look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, to me, that beats anything when it comes to using the Stomper technology with the labels, or even using the generic, good old use your, your Sharpie. I think that is absolutely amazing. Again, lost technology, in my opinion. I wanted to experience this myself. This is my very first LightScribe CD I've ever done. And the quality is just absolutely amazing. And I just love the fact that that media is still in, well, new old stock, but that doesn't always mean everything. But, it looks just fantastic. And, at the end of the day, I'm very happy that I got to experience this. And it's one of those things I might continue to do. I might just go make an audio CD now. I still have a CD player in my car. So one of those things I'd like to experience, go back in the day and make a cool mixed CD and, roll the windows down, put the top down. You know how it goes. All right, let's go to our outro. And here we are at the end of the video, experiencing the LightScribe technology firsthand, and specifically for this guy, the first time ever doing it in my life. I knew the technology existed. I knew the media existed. I just never did it. I was one of those people that just wrote on the CD or printed it or whatever if I made a mix CD and I was good to go and I ran out the door. But I'm telling you, there's something about this that is just so nostalgic and retro and also even modern in some form. I mean, the quality of this is just absolutely stunning. And even if you did a different template and it went online, and hopefully some of that stuff's backed up, but went online and got a different template and put all your songs, your tracks, or what your data is, there's a lot of creativity that can go into something like this. I think that's absolutely great. In terms of the downfalls that were experienced about, taking long to do, for example, it's not a big deal. It took 25 minutes. I walked away, came down, it was done. Maybe back in the day it was considered an inconvenience because of, you're always on the move and on the fly. But again, bringing something like this back, to the retro community and re-experiencing this, or even for myself experiencing it the first time, I don't know why I never did this back in the day. I have so many of my mix CDs still around today that are all just handwritten on them and things like that, which is in itself is cool. But my goodness, having something like this would have been awesome. Even today, to back up my vinyl collection or my cassette collection to CD, for example, would be, again, even awesome. And having this sort of technology is really great. And I will say it again, I think this is a lost technology that hopefully, maybe by resurfacing videos like this, will make the manufacturer think again and put out some of this media again, even for the retro community, because the drives still exist. You can still get them and they're online, and old retro systems have them as well. So you can still get these systems and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's a lost cause, lost dream, but I just think it's absolutely so cool. That said, if you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Makes a world of difference, helps this channel grow. Hit the notification button, change it to all. You'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. Did you use the LightScribe technology, or did you feel like it was extremely inconvenient? Would you like to see it out in the market again? Please let me know. I respond to absolutely every comment. Always making new content. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.